Right now, the next installment of the Mzansi Super League is imminent. Less than a month to go. And we have the teams, the stars, the fixtures, and now tickets are available. My guest tonight is Russell Adams from Cricket South Africa to take us through it all. Russell, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much. Lovely to be here.
Right, so the Mzansi Super League, it's taken cricket by storm in this country. Tell us about the success of the first season, and were you surprised with how it took off and how it filled up the stadiums?
Not at all. I think it was a fantastic event under the time constraints that we had last year. If I think back, I remember we had about over 100,000 people that came through the gates over the 32 games that we staged last year. For me, the quality of the cricket was just superb, and there were some really good cricket played and youngsters that have come to the fore from that tournament. And having been involved with the IPL in the past, I can see that happening with this particular tournament, the Mzansi Super League. I think it's a fantastic platform for not only the cricketers, but for the public to get behind.
I mean, it started from scratch. You had teams that no one knew about, but suddenly grounds were full. I remember just watching matches, especially in Nepal, where it looked like this is where you needed to be because things were kicking off in a big way, and yet just a month before, none of these teams had existed. But the punters, which is the important thing, especially in cricket, they wanted this.
It just shows how cricket is integrated in our system, in our country. There's a lot of people that followed, and thanks to SABC, the kind of reach that we got out of that first edition of the tournament, it was over 10 million people. So yeah, Paul is a great example. Fantastic atmosphere in a small ground. But again, great cricket was played, and they had some fantastic characters playing for them, that actually brought the public closer to them, and it brought the cricket to the public. So there was good experience on and off the field in Paarl. I can picture the purple all over the show, walking towards the stadium, seeing those flags, just seeing the excitement on people's faces. And like you say, Simon, it was such short notice to put everything together last year, but the hunger for wanting to be at a T20 cricket game, the hunger for just being part of the action. I mean, our slogan remains, fast fun for all.
Yeah. I mean, T20, it is exciting, and it clearly gets the punters through. You've got big names still, Jason Roy, Chris Gale, Tom Curran. So you've got World Cup winners coming through, and then you've also got top-level South African talent. That blend obviously makes it exciting as well.
It does indeed. Quality international cricketers, again, like you've mentioned, World Cup winners. But our Protea marquee players, they're all there. Gagisa, Rabada, Quinton de Kock is there again, Faf du Plessis, etc. So we've got really, really good quality cricketers at the top end. But equally exciting are the other players that make up that side. If you recall a few months ago when we did the player draft, there were many. There were 14 players that had to be selected. And if you think back to last year, a lot of unknown names came to the fore. And I see the same happening again this year. I see, if you look at that draft that happened, there were a lot of names there that we weren't certain about or were surprised that were being picked. But I think those players are going to put their hand up and show us, one, their ability, and two, the entertainment or the excitement of being able to play in front of a crowd.
So we're talking a great game, and yes, the product, it speaks for itself. What are the biggest challenges you're going to be facing in the second season of the Mzansi Super League?
Well, in Durban, hopefully it's not rain. But certainly there are challenges. In whatever one does, there are going to be challenges, etc. And we just got to work through them, really. I think one of the big lessons that we did from last year was that we took a lot of insight and debrief from the teams, from stakeholders, from basically the public as well, to get a sense as to what it was that they required. And the biggest challenge now is to meet those challenges, to meet those lessons, to make sure that we can show that in Mzansi Super League 2.0 we have taken a step up from what was seen last year.
You think the fact that it's over quite a short space of time, a month and a bit, it holds the attention of the viewer, or is it such a rush that it keeps you guys on your toes?
Well, I think it depends on who you speak to. If you're asking me, wow, I'm exhausted before the tournament even started. But speaking to players, they love the format. They love the fact that it was condensed. It was a 4-week tournament last year. This year is a 5-week tournament, but there's a reason for that. You know, we saw in the playoff last year it got washed out. Yes. And we didn't have a reserve day. We've made concession for that. You know, we've made sure that there's enough time between matches for teams to get from one place to another. And we changed the times of matches as well for the public, because it's important that the families that are coming to these games can be there in comfort and in a safe environment and be able to get away from those games safely as well. Yeah. So we've taken that upon ourselves to make sure we can tick all those boxes between our partners, SABC, and ourselves as CSA, to ensure that we have a great event, but that we don't have any incidences from that.
Absolutely. So family-orientated fun. Tell us about the tickets. The prices, they stay the same?
Very reasonable.
So you can get your whole brood through the gates?
Absolutely. It's from 60 Rand. Yeah. You know, for that kind of entertainment for over 4 hours, it's a steal. But we've gone a step further and said that if they're scholars or pensioners, they're half price. Yeah. You know, so really, we are listening to what the public's saying. We are listening to what our players have been telling us. And we have definitely put plans in place for this year to make it bigger and better for everybody.
So where do we get the tickets? Is it online? Can you go to a shop? Where?
You can go to Ticket Pro, the Ticket Pro outlet, all the other retail outlets that's linked to Ticket Pro. You can go to the stadiums as well, the ticket offices that are at the stadiums. So yeah, it should be easily obtainable. And I'm certainly hoping that the public of Johannesburg especially will come in their masses to that opening game on the 8th of November against the Cape Town Blitz, because you'll recall that was last year's final.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that, you know, out of nothing, so came these rivalries. Yeah. And I remember Cape Town Blitz versus Josie Stars, a lot of niggle in that match. So already you've established, you know, a fixture to watch for, and you're kicking it off with that one.
Absolutely, and what a great fixture that is at the Imperial Wanderers Stadium, at what they know as the Bullring. You know, it can accommodate thousands of people. My challenge to the public of Johannesburg and anybody else around the country that wants to come up for that opening game is to beat last year's number, because Newlands brought in, I think if I can remember correctly, it was about 8,500 people for that opening game. And my challenge to the public of Johannesburg is to say, well, I'm sure you can double that.
Oh boy, you've called Joburg out. No, good stuff, good stuff. As that happened, so the lights went down on the whole organization. Russell, thanks very much for joining us. We're going to have to take a quick break and get this sorted out.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. Oh,